We actually picked up the check this morning, actually.
Yeah, baby. Where is it?
I did. I got the
Show that baby.
Let's see if you can see it on there.
Zooms in $20,850. So you
Yes,
got your
sir.
money back. So $20,000.
This video is brought to you by Flipster, the nation's largest property database, including houses on the MLS and off-market leads, like pre-foreclosures and vacant homes. To find your next wholesale or fix and flip deal, start your free trial today at joinflipster.com.
Danny, really excited to do this interview with you and talk to you about your first deal, a $20,000 wholesale deal, right?
Yes, sir. 20,000.
That is so cool. I mean, your first deal, $20,000. I can't wait to get into this with you and have you share with us kind of how you found the deal, how you put it together, how you exited, and kind of all the missing or all the parts that came together there. So Danny, tell us a little bit about you. What market, where do you live? What market are you targeting for your deals? And let's start with that. So where are you from?
Yeah, I'm from Beaumont, Texas. It's a city about 60 miles south of Houston, Texas, between Houston and Lake Charles, Louisiana.
You're in the outskirts of Houston.
Yes.
And so those sleepy little markets are amazing because all that growth pushes out. People want a little more rural, a little more quiet kind of neighborhoods.
Yes.
And with COVID, people working from home now more, you're seeing a lot of that going on, but yet there's not a ton of competition. So it makes it a great market. I think those small towns.
Yes. I run into a lot, like when making offers, a lot of Houston investors invest in this area.
Yeah.
A ton of them. I mean, it's, they kind of got into this area pretty thick. So the competition is there, but many of them aren't local. They're all from Houston. So.
Yeah. And how far away are they commuting?
Probably about an hour.
Yeah. So I find that if you can get in these little towns that are an hour from the big cities, those big city investors will go. They'll go an hour and a half easily to do deals.
Yeah.
Like they consider that still part of their market. So awesome. Well, great. So tell us, Danny, how long ago did you first find out about wholesaling? And tell us a little bit about your education path before you started picking up the phone and like putting into practice what you learned. What was that time like?
So we bought a few rental properties last year, and I was like, okay, this is kind of getting monotonous, having to wait 5-6 months at a time to save up more money to buy my next one. So I started looking into wholesaling, watching videos, a lot of your videos, and reading articles and things like that, just kind of educating myself on it. I never really jumped into it. I just kind of took it as, oh, well, I probably won't be too good at that. I'll kind of keep doing what I'm doing and play it safe. But a couple months ago, I was like, man, I'm gonna go ahead and give this a try. Start off just driving for dollars, and I spent a day driving in the town where I live, driving for dollars, and just looking for homes that appeared vacant or like halfway flipped. And I came up with a list of like 40 houses, just driving like a 5-mile radius from my house, and I didn't have anything then, no prop stream, no nothing. I just got on my county appraisal district website, looked up the owner, and then tried to skip trace phone numbers on my own.
Yeah.
And this particular deal, I couldn't find a phone number for the guy, but I located him on Facebook, and I simply sent him a message on Facebook, and he gave me a call the next day and agreed to show me the property. And he bought it intending on flipping it, and some situations changed in his personal life. I think they started taking in foster children and stuff like that, so they were too busy to finish the flip. So he was just wanting to cash out on it. He told me the price he was looking for, and we came up on an agreement. And I did the 70% ARV formula, and it beat it by a long run. It was a great deal. Like that area, those homes are selling. That square footage could sell for about 190 to 200,000, and I was able to get it under contract for 77, and it needed maybe at most about 30,000 worth of work. He had already did the floors, electrical, He had purchased all the cabinets. They just needed to be installed. It came with a load of building materials already that just needed to be installed. So I knew it was a great deal. So yeah, that was how I came across the deal.
Yeah, it's really fascinating. The message you sent me, I just want to read this. I started watching your videos, using your strategies, even your assignment form. Thanks for putting out content. And then you said the deal took me a total of about 4 days to lock down and maybe 3 hours of work. I still can't believe it.
Yeah.
So like, this was one of those deals where just like all the stars aligned, right? Like,
oh yeah. It couldn't have went any smoother. Honestly, it's just like I said, I sent him a message on Facebook. He called me the next day. I went and saw it. I think I went and saw it the day after that, and we came into an agreement at the house pretty much on the price.
Gave him a number,
and then he actually hired an agent after that to write the contract.
Oh.
I guess he felt more comfortable having an agent write the contract. I'm not sure if it was a family friend or what, but the agent wrote the contract, and I just made sure everything was in there that I needed in there. My 10-day inspection period, making sure that it noted that it was assignable. And I was upfront with him from the beginning what my intentions were with the property. So there was no issues with the agent. She was great to work with. Like I said, all she did was write the contract. And once I got the contract signed, I used your assignment contract to assign it to my end buyer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we'll talk about that in just a minute. Mm-hmm. So let's back up a second. You had mentioned a couple things in your contract. So I think it's important that I like to talk about this part because this is part of the steps of wholesaling a house. So did you give the price or did the seller give you a number and you were like, I like that number? How'd it go on the price?
So after he showed me the home, I asked him, I said, so what are you looking to get? What are you looking to walk away with? And he told me 80. Okay. And in my head, that price would work right there.
That was a good
deal.
So
I did. That was. I was like, wow, this is great. So I countered with a 70, and just to see what he was thinking. And he came back. He said 77. And I said, man, let's do it. That was perfect. Okay. So he gave me his price first, and we kind of went from there. When he told me 80, I automatically knew, hey, this guy's motivated enough to get rid of this property. And he's had some experience flipping houses and things like that. So he understood where the price needed to be to sell it. So
yeah, for you to finish it and sell it. So, okay, awesome. Okay. So they did that. And then he brought in an agent, did a contract. So let's talk about your contract. So you mentioned a couple things. So, I do a lot of on market, and a lot of my, followers or students do a lot of on market, which means when the agent writes the contract, you lose a little bit of control. So you have to make sure that contract has all of the terms that you need to facilitate your wholesale. So let's talk about a couple things. You had mentioned a 10-day inspection. An inspection window is great because it gives you time for due diligence. You can start talking to cash buyers, right? Mm-hmm. It gives you a window where you're not locked into your contract yet, and it allows your earnest money to be refundable. Did you have earnest money on this?
Yes, and that was also my earnest money. I put down $850. That was an agreement me and him had. Yes, sir. Okay. That's the agreement we had prior to her coming into the picture. So everything me and him discussed, she made sure she put it on paper. So she was not even familiar with the term assignment of contract. She had no idea. So it took some time for me to explain that to her, and then she went and asked some of her colleagues, and then she felt, I guess, more comfortable with it and understood, what to do. So yeah, she added in there my company name / and/or signed, and she also put a special notes provision saying that the contract was assignable.
Now, did your flipper know what that was all about? Probably.
Yes, he was aware. Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're in a unique situation on this deal in that you're dealing with an investor who's the seller. So they have a level of understanding, like a contract isn't foreign to them. They already know what a wholesaler is. They know what a closing looks like. They know what terms are. I actually prefer, like, tired landlords are my favorite lead because I can talk to an investor and we can just cut all the crap and get right to it and negotiate, and it's fine. It's awesome. So you kind of had a little bit of a situation that way. So 850, anywhere between 500 and $1,000 is usually very typical for earnest money. So you put earnest money goes in escrow and it gets applied towards the purchase, or if you wholesale, it gets refunded back to you.
Yes.
850, a 10-day inspection. They agreed to that, which is awesome. How many days to close?
So we went ahead and did, they agreed to do 30 days, and we actually had something come up to where we had to extend it by the extra 10 days. Something came up on the title that had to be cleared. So
Gotcha.
we actually picked up the check this morning, actually.
Yeah, baby. Where is it?
I did. I got the,
show that baby.
let's see, you can see it on there.
Zooms in 20,850. Says you got your money back. So $20,000. Danny, make sure you take a nice picture with that and frame it. This is a monumental day in your life and in your career.
Yes, sir.
You're going to look back on this day and it's going to be special. So I wish I did that. I wish I took a picture. I didn't, but I wish I had that to look back on.
Yeah.
But congratulations. That's so awesome. Let's talk about your cash buyer now. Well, are there other terms, closing, inspection? Sounds like, did you ask for things like your title company, or did you go with the one he used?
I did. We went with my preferred title company. It's the one I've used here when I bought our 3 rentals. They work fast, good with communicating. And another investor actually told me that they do a lot of assignment of contracts. So I was like, perfect. That's my favorite title company out here. And they do assignment of contracts. We're going to roll with them. And the seller had no issue with it. So we rolled with them.
Did you put anything in your contract about getting access to the property?
Yes. So I had, that was added in the contract, and he understood that I needed to come in and out to show investors and contractors, to get bids and things like that. So I had access to it.
So then you had the contract at 77, right?
Yes, sir.
What did you put it out to your buyers at? What price did you market it for?
I put it out, the asking price, I put it out at 97.
Okay. So you asked for 20, you put it at 20 more.
Mm-hmm.
And then where all did you market to find a buyer? Because you didn't have much of a buyer's list.
Right. I had no buyer's list at the time. So I'm a member of a few Facebook groups. Yep. And I see these transactions go on all the time on the group. So I simply put a post in two of those groups. And from there, once I posted it on Facebook, I mean, it was pretty much game over. I mean, so many people had interest in it because of the area. And I would just tell them, hey, meet me at the house on this day at this time. That's when I had that investor party. They all showed up, you know, and by lunch the next day, I had it assigned.
Yeah. So. Okay. So you got an offer from one of them.
Yes.
And they went at the 97. They took the 97.
Yes. Yeah. I even had a couple, call me a little later the next day, I guess after thinking about it, asking, give me an offer. And I was like, well, I have it assigned now. Am I asking? And they were even wanting me to drop that contract and go with theirs, which was higher than asking. And, my first deal, just getting in that wholesale community, I don't want to have a reputation of pulling out of deals and things like that. So I stayed with my original assignment of contract. I didn't want to ruin a long-term relationship over $5,000.
No, that was smart. One thing to think about that I like to do when you have that type of a show up at your inspection party, then what you tell everybody is you say, listen, 97 is my asking price, but that's just an asking price. Submit to me by tomorrow at noon, your highest and best.
Okay. And
tomorrow at noon, I'm going to decide which offer I'm going to take, but submit your highest and best. And what that usually will do is you'll get an over 97 offer.
Gotcha. Okay.
Because then it lets everybody know, hey, if you really want this, you better go over 97 to get it.
Yeah.
You never rear view mirror this business. It's amazing to do a 20K wholesale just in and of itself. Pretty awesome. How many months of rental income would that take to get 20, right?
Let's see.
That's what's cool
pretty
about
much
wholesaling.
Pretty about, let's say I had 3 and I probably came out with 30 last year. So it's already almost giving me what I made off my rentals last year.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah. So.
That's why you keep wholesaling. I think wholesaling is a strategy that you always do forever because it's just those quick paychecks, so learn how to source and find deals, learn how to structure and wholesale, no matter what strategy you end up doing long-term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, Jerry, what I liked about it was like that day when all the investors came to check out the property. I made so many good contacts that day. Watching these seasoned investors walk the property, I walked it with most of them, asked them what they were looking for, and I learned so much just picking those guys' brains. Some of them showed up with their contractors or their hard money lenders or their other partners, and I learned so much just from that one event, this one deal, and and I guess a couple of them say, hey man, here's my personal number, give me a call first if you have something else. You got a good eye for the properties, this is what I'm looking for. Personally, give me a call, shoot me a text, whatever it is, and whenever you have something else. And this one deal, it's a great payout, but as far as knowledge I've learned from it is, you can't put a price on it.
No, I love that you see it that way too. And those buyers, those investors, cultivate those relationships. I'm very much a relationship driven person in the business, because let's say that you cultivate a relationship where they like you, you like them. There's an openness going on between the two of you. You could get a lead that you're unsure about, and you could call that cash buyer and say, hey, come with me. Let's walk this property. Tell me where you want to be. Mm-hmm. And there's a trust there that he's not going to backdoor you. He gives you his number, and then you go back and negotiate with the seller and build in your fee and get it exactly at their number. And like those relationships are really valuable. Yeah,
there's a guy out here. He has this thing where he's doing 100 flips a year. And he straight up told me, he's one of the guys I contact frequently. If you have something that's 70% ARV, I'm buying it. He's like, just simple as that. So I don't care how much you're making off of it, I'm buying it. Shoot it to me and let's do it. And, it's investors like that, that are great to work with.
10 of those are better than a list of 10,000 that are just tire kickers. You don't know who they are, no relationship. Yes. Seriously, That's the type of relationships you want to cultivate. Awesome. Well, good. So you've shared some really good nuggets. I love your mindset around how valuable the education of going through a deal. I tell people all the time, it doesn't matter if your wholesale fee is $1,000 or $500. It's more about going through that whole process, A to Z, what you learn doing that is invaluable, like you said. But having said that, what would be, and you said you use my assignment contract, guys, I'll give you that for free if you're watching this later. I'll put the link on that. But what would you say was your number one, the biggest takeaway that you learned? And also, I guess a better question would be, what's the biggest piece of advice you would give somebody working on their first deal?
And be confident in yourself. Do your research, know what you're doing. I've learned that don't just write something off. Like for example, this home, it had brand new windows on it. That was about it. Everything else was still, needed renovation to it. But I almost passed it up because I was thinking, well, someone's already working on this one. And, it's funny because since then, all the other leads I've had since then look just like that one, homes that are like halfway rehabbed, so it's that's a good something to look for. If you see a house that's obviously already being worked on, don't just write it off.
Yeah, that's really great. Love that. So that is a very valuable lesson. I see a lot of wholesalers looking for like that perfect situation where there's zero risk. I know they're going to say yes. So then I'll offer. Well, the problem is it's a numbers game. You might have to make 100 offers to get that one good deal. Your job as a wholesaler is to just make offers. Like you got one job, make offers. And the more offers you make, the more deals you get and the more money you make. So just make more offers. Show that check one more time, Danny. I want everyone to leave a comment and say, Danny, you're a flipping genius. Congratulations. Yeah, there that baby is. $20,000 wholesale fee. Phenomenal. Really proud of you, Danny. That's awesome.
Thank you. Thank you.
What's next for you? What are your big goals? What are you hoping to accomplish now?
Man, my big goals from here on is I want to get into doing my first flip.
Yeah.
I love the buy and hold game. I want to flip and do some burrs. So I've been trying to utilize all the contacts I've made from this deal to get in contact with some good contractors, and that's what I'll be looking to do before the year's up. My first flip.
So amazing job. Keep it up, and please stay in touch. Keep me informed on your next deals. I'd love to follow your progress and hear more about what you're doing. And thank you again for taking time to share with us that deal you did.
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Awesome.